Good evening, everybody. Joe here with Two Full Gun and Armory, and today's video is going to be the week 2 video assignment for FTH202, which is the revolver subcourse for the handgun specialist curriculum at Sonoran Desert Institute. We will be utilizing the Taurus Model A56 right here that the school has provided, and we will be doing a few things. First, we will be going over how to remove the side plate the correct way. And then we will be going through the 8 steps of the cycle of operations. Once the side plate is off, we will be looking at some of the major components within the platform and how they work together during those cycle of operations and what they're responsible for. And then I'll be doing a full disassembly. So just a heads up, this will be edited pretty heavily, basically just narrowing down what the instructor wants to see. But don't fret, I will have a secondary video at a later date, probably when it warms up. It's about 5 degrees outside right now. And that'll have a full disassembly and reassembly of the firearm in detail. First things first, we need to make sure that the workspace is clear, which it is. We also need to make sure that the firearm is clear, which it is. There is nothing in the chamber, nothing in any of the cylinders, and it is ready to work on. Safety first. I misplaced my good safety glasses, so I have to use these big goofy ones. But that's okay, because we'll get through it together. So the cycle of operations for this firearm is a little bit different, basically because of where chambering is in the cycle of operations. So the first thing you have is feeding. And feeding is loading rounds into each of these individual chambers. Chambering is when you bring the cylinder back into the firearm. Locking and cocking are pretty much hand in hand. The hand is going to essentially lock the cylinder as you cock the hammer back to the rear. The hand moves up and manipulates the chambering, getting that next round aligned with the barrel. So that way when you pull the trigger, there's no movement and, everything is aligned. So you have cocking and locking, and then you have firing and unlocking, and then you have extraction, which is dropping the cylinder back down. And then you have ejection, which is when you pull this, when you push on this cylinder rod, each of the casings will be ejected from their individual chambers. So that being said, we are going to get into the removal of the side plate the correct way. In order to do that, we have to take off the grip because there are 2 screws underneath here that we will need to remove in order to get the side plate off. Okay, so in order to take off the side plate, you're going to take a non-marring tool and tap on the grip portion of the frame, just like so. Now that we have the side plate taken off, we can go into the few parts that I wanted to talk about. We got the hammer and the sear, and then we have the hand and the trigger. Now the hammer and the sear work with locking and firing. And the way they do that is when you pull the hammer to the rear, it cocks the hammer and gets it prepped to fire, but then the sear locks that hammer back to the rear. And All while that's going on, the hand is manipulating that chamber to get everything aligned and locked into place. Now, when the trigger is pulled, that sear is going to disengage and allow that hammer to swing forward and strike that firing pin and expend that round. The trigger also, depending on which way you're shooting it, single action or double action, can be used as cocking as well. And also has to do with firing, obviously. So those are how those specific parts interact with the cycle of operations and what parts they are used for. Now we are going to do a disassembly of it, and I'll get to that. All right, so at this step, we are down to the third part of the video where the disassembly needs to be where only the trigger, the hand, the transfer bar, the hammer and sear, and the cylinder release button are in. And now we're going to move on to disassembling the rest of it. And now we have a stripped frame completely. So with that being done, that concludes this video. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments below. Also, like and subscribe. It's the best way we all grow together. And be on the lookout for that other video. Until next time. Also, just because I forgot, it is about 8 p.m. on January 25th, 2026.